eat on where do you want to go.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
Like,
I have.
If you're like, I want 50 hot wings, then we're going out and getting 50 hot wings.
Oh my god, guys, can we fucking go to Pluckers, please? Like, I haven't gone there in years.
Oh, years, man.
Mark fucking ruined it.
Did he do something?
It was his go-to, like, every day of the week. Like,
I gotcha.
Always want to go there, so we're like,
yeah.
we're never going there again.
No, James was excited when he found out we had one. He was like, yeah, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Got some vampire wings.
They have some great medium dry rub lemon pepper.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still got, like, the heat from the medium, and it tastes like lemon pepper.
Yeah.
Get my hands all fucking gross.
It's pretty good.
All right, we're live, apparently.
Oh, cool.
Good, yeah.
How fun. Welcome to us discussing hot wings.
Yeah, well, hot wings are good.
It could be its own talk.
There's already celebrities eating hot wings and answering questions. So.
Yeah,
that's already a thing. So
it's already a thing. It's getting ridiculous. There's this channel that I follow who does like games journalism, and he just came up with a second channel that is basically him reviewing a game at the same time he reviews some kind of food. So far, it's all been really bad food, and it's a versus thing. Like they're fighting each other.
Wow.
So one of the first ones he did
fighting
was
for shitocracy. Like,
yeah. So the first one he did was Anthem versus grocery store sushi.
Wow.
And honestly, I'm gonna go with grocery store sushi wins.
It did.
For a game that I was like ridiculously excited when they first showed.
Yeah.
And then
we all were. We were all.
Oh yeah.
Like now that they've shown what their Cataclysm thing is.
Oh yeah, that he was talking about how the subreddit basically died when they showed Cataclysm on the stream.
Yeah, because the original Cataclysm thing, it was obviously fake with the.
It was like the rest of the game at the time. It was
like
from
the voiceover
2017.
stuff, like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" Like nobody fucking talks like that. The word "fuck" wasn't uttered once.
Exactly.
But they're running through this fucking like trees moving. They're all grouped up tight together. Fucking animals running by, and they're like, "What's this Cataclysm?" Well, you jump through a bubble, everything turns blue, and the trees bend a bit more. Like
but
you're not with your friends, you're not doing anything. It's.
I love how empty it
was
looked.
So bad. The game is empty.
Yeah.
Well, first off, they have like 4 players allowed per fucking server. So you run into no one ever.
Yeah, no, that's the problem right now is they're actually having matchmaking difficulties because there are so few people around.
Yeah.
At this point, honestly, even though it's not the game I want to go fucking join up against cross every platform into one server system.
It needs it.
It actually needs
it.
It
legitimately needs it. Oh, but it's dead. The devs all abandoned it. EA has abandoned it. Yeah. No matter what they say.
They're still contractually obligated to finish what they started.
Oh, yeah, and they will. And they'll have a skeleton crew that does it.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking to Hector about this the other day. I was reading an article about the people who still make Final Fantasy XI. They don't actually produce any new products for Final Fantasy XI. They get like interim patch updates. There's a skeleton crew of like 10 people who still work on Final Fantasy XI, but they are like they're there for life basically.
You know what's getting an update fucking Tuesday? Destiny 1.
Yeah,
wow.
I heard that.
It's just server-side update to make it more secure and shit, but they're not adding any of the content, anything to it.
I don't have it.
They're just going, well, we're making the servers better.
I don't think I have it in the news for this week, but I think I was reading a rumor somewhere. They were saying that like there might be like a minor DLC for Borderlands 2 coming out.
Yes, that is being heavily rumored that there is a DLC coming out for Borderlands 2 that will bridge a gap between 2 and 3.
I have a question though. Is it just making their faces look different? Because that's all DLC is, apparently, according to fucking numbnuts.
I think we're actually going to go a week without talking about him.
Oh, man.
But then again, I don't know.
He calls it DLC. I mean, if that's how they want to bridge the 2 games together, you put on a new hat. Like, that's not
Hi, everybody. Welcome
content.
to the warm-up. We're about to get started.
I need to click. Where was the chat thing in the...
that little transparent window you always have?
No, the other one.
Oh.
The other one that worked on all of them.
We're still fucking around with this new software, so we're...
No.
That doesn't sound
experience.
Right. No, Let's go to fucking dashboard, maybe. Oh. That's super not helpful either.
Well, there's some...
Yo, Brooklyn, what's up?
Well, yes, but now I can't see Facebook chat unless I bring up the other thingy.
Right.
The one that we found last week. When...
Wasn't it a browser window or something?
It was a browser window.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know where it was on the...
It's not, like, in the actual chat functions? Like,
no,
do a thing?
No, it's not. It's a separate thing. It's part of the thing that multi-streams to the 4 channels.
Wow.
I'll just go to the App Store. I can open up Mob Crush from there and open it. And click display unified chat, which should open up.
That's
the
it.
window.
There it
That
is.
yeah.
Yay! It's done.
And then it should be. Is that large enough?
Yes.
text?
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
that's
good.
good.
That's
Okay.
good.
I'm just gonna dog, see what happens.
Yay,
Shows
dog.
up. Okay.
Excellent.
That's right, because you made it super big last time. Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
it was like plus, 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 plus.
Mm-hmm.
I did all the plussings.
So the fun thing here is that we're on this Mob Crush Live. So apparently without us even knowing it, we're probably streaming to TVs all over the world.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
obviously.
Yes, that's exactly. We're huge in North Korea.
We might
Oh
be.
man,
You don't
we
know.
could be. Right now, we might have just gone up on a jumbotron, and like they're just looking
I
at
need
us.
to take my dick out right now.
Okay, North Korea. Here's the thing.
Well, you gonna test the audio for us?
Yeah. All right. We ready for the audio test part?
Yep, let's do
Ready.
it.
Alrighty.
So yeah, E3 predictions, man. Like, feel free to, like I said, we're gonna do it in two parts. We're gonna do what sounds natural, what sounds logical for what we think will be shown at E3.
Okay. Hector needs to
And
talk
then-
now at some point.
And then at the very end, just kind of break down.
I do need to talk now
whatever
at some point.
whatever silly things that you think you would like to have
Okay.
happen, but are not. Probably
See, that's the thing
won't.
is like I haven't
Right.
prepared anything. I was looking over what last year's E3 was, at least the Microsoft side of it, on the what games actually came out based on what they showed.
None.
And like
Crackdown 3.
98% of what they said was coming out last year came out within that year.
But last year they
everything.
showed all.
Too
of
bad there
the-
weren't any good games that came out.
Yeah,
that
what
year.
came out for the Xbox?
Well, that's the thing. A lot of what they showed was multi-platform.
Oh,
so
you're not talking about all the
what
like
okay.
Microsoft.
Microsoft showed at their announcement.
Oh, okay. I
Tony's
gotcha.
hard on is that what's shown at E3 gets put out over the next year and isn't here's a trailer for a game coming out in 5 years.
Right,
Which
right.
I understand.
Well, the
We
thing
all,
is, like,
we
they
all
had
fucking hate that. We all
But
hate that,
Microsoft
like,
had
here's the thing that
zero
might
to
never come
do
out.
with those games coming out on time. None of them were their games. I don't understand what you're
It
you're
was
tipping up
specifically
about.
again. It's the only fucking thing I read about was what games actually were released based on somebody coming up on stage and being like,
Yep.
"Here, look at robot dicks." That's what I'm fucking saying.
Gotcha. All right, no, that's fair.
All right. I think-
Weirdly, that game actually did come out.
Yeah, the Robot Dicks game
There was
did
a
come
Robot
out.
Dicks game that they showed and it came out.
all right. I think we're ready to go.
Yep.
So, like, I need to listen to this first. It looks like we were really loud last week, so I need to turn
Yeah. How does it sound to
Oh,
the
are
audience?
we?
Are we okay? Are we too loud?
We sound okay.
I don't think we ever truly sound okay.
That's a good point.
We're always a little bit.
Oh, it sounded like someone heard us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the audio's fine, but we're still too loud.
Mm.
The recording is just when I listened to it, we were just peaking way too fucking much. I just need to do
Like just a notch.
Yep.
that,
Yep.
and
that
it'll
should do
probably
it.
be
All
fine.
right. Cool. All right.
He's riding into the fucking woods again.
Yes.
He does it every week at this time. He just goes.
If you're
into the
going to
woods.
peek, do it in your room. Absolutely. That's what I tell him every week. All right. Let's do it.
I don't understand that guy. He just fucking. All right. I fixed my arm on the chair. There's a fuckload of epoxy on this now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and now it doesn't move at all.
All right.
It's supposed to be able to move.
Yeah.
I made it not move.
You know.
Because it moved too much. Whenever I would move around like this, it would go kunk and like
Oh,
slam down.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and it was very fucking irritating.
It will never move
so
again.
I decided to get like $1 thing of epoxy and go into it, and now it don't move.
How exciting.
Mm.
Yeah, and I fixed my headphones with super glue.
Now we know what
There you
Tony
go.
did for
Not
the week.
these.
All right.
I'm going to bring that up on the show and be like, "What do you? I fixed my fucking chair. It's been broken for a year, and
We
I
have
finally
so
fucking-
much to cover in the prelude. We need to like.
I literally have done
We
nothing.
I have a
need
lot
to
to
be
cover
time
in the
conscious
prelude.
about this
All
because
right.
there's a lot of shit in there.
All right.
First for problems. You have a chair. I mean, come on. Your ass is not sitting on a rock.
That's a good point.
Wait, you have a rock? Oh my god, I'd love a rock.
I used to sit on a cactus.
That was just for pleasure, though.
I loved that cactus. Parents got it for me for my birthday.
You ready?
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Our E3 predictions episode. Adventures, gear up. Greetings, adventures, and welcome to the show. We are the Surly Nerd, your one-stop shop for Oh, God damn it.
All right. Well, we were your one-stop shop for geek news. Might have flown under your radar.
Just
I know.
Yeah,
I'm
we're-
just gonna
reset and go.
I'm just gonna reset
Yeah,
it.
yeah. There you go.
And we're still too fucking loud.
yeah. Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to the show. We are the Surly Nerd, your one-stop shop for geek news that's might have flown
No, we're
under your
just gonna
radar.
redo that one again.
Wow,
We're doing that
why am
again.
I off today?
I haven't
Is
seen
it
you.
the watermelon? Is it?
I haven't seen you miss twice in a row in a really
I know.
long time.
I've had like 2 sips of a drink, and apparently I've just bombed everything today.
I mean, it's like making it like sour mouth. It's
Maybe.
where you're like,
No, I don't think so.
okay,
All right, I'm going to slow it down an inch.
pace
Yeah,
yourself.
Pace myself. I'm just
I mean,
a little,
we're
I'm a
glad
little-
that you arrived first, but
Yeah.
we would like the audience to arrive as well.
We'd like them to arrive with us. All right, let's do it. Greetings, adventurers, and welcome to the show. We are the Surly Nerd, your one-stop shop for geek news that might have flown under your radar over the last week. I'm your host, James, and sitting across from me is the producer of this fine show, Tony.
Third time's the charm. Hey, you got it right.
And with us, as always, is our third chair host, Hector.
Howdy.
All right, if you're new to our show, welcome. This week's Boss Room is going to be our annual E3 predictions episode. But before that, we have the Weekly Raid, which is a recap of all the nerd news that's fit to rant about for your ears. Don't forget that you can keep connected with us through thesurlynerd.com. You can follow us on all social media platforms and even donate to the show. Every penny donated goes right back into the show that we make for you every week. With all that out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, adventurers of all ages, it's time for The Prelude.
Good. It doesn't look like we're peaking too much. It turned us down just a little bit, so.
There. See, I get there. I get there eventually.
You got there.
Yeah.
There.
It just you stumbling a little bit.
It happens. It
and then-
happens.
I mean, how many times have we fucked up this show?
Most of the time.
Yeah. We're 312 episodes of fucking this up.
Yeah. You'd think we'd have a handle on it by now.
Yeah.
Like, you think that would be our tagline at this point. Like, 312 episodes of fucking it up.
We've got it handled.
We were very good at fucking it real bad. Prelude.
All right, this is the prelude. This is what we've been doing with ourselves this week, what we've been playing, what we've been watching, and what has been occupying our free time. Tony, why don't we start with you? There's a lot to break down this week, so just jump in. What did you see
Okay.
new and exciting?
Well, my favorite thing was Good Omens came out on Amazon.
Yes, it did.
Absolutely did.
I remembered, Thursday into Friday, it was about 2 in the morning, and I went, oh, fuck, it's Friday, I wonder if it's on. And I watched 2 episodes.
Yes.
Yep.
Because it's like, I ain't going to bed.
Yeah.
I don't have zero reason to be awake.
So
like, say,
Good
go to bed
Omens,
now.
the Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett book, finally got a screen adaptation
Yeah,
on
I
Amazon.
mean, they had to cut a bunch out, and they added a little bit to it, but
Gaiman
it felt like the fucking
Gaiman
book.
worked on it, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like it was unheard of.
I started watching it as well. It was so close to the book, and I haven't read the book in probably like 14 years. I was so close to the book that it really piqued my interest. So I was between books, and I started listening to the audiobook on my way to work. It is like
Damn near perfect.
so close. Like
Yeah, no.
the like line for whenever someone speaks, they're saying a line from the book.
Yeah, no. The only thing that like I know, like they added Gabriel and they added some demons that weren't in the book. They removed the other horsemen of the apocalypse. So there's the 4 horsemen, but then there's the other biker
Right.
gang that joins them.
Yeah.
And they keep, that's gone, but that just makes sense. It was completely
You gotta thin-
non-necessary.
you gotta thin it out a little
I mean,
bit.
it's funny in the book, but that would just make the show even longer.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty damn long story to begin with. It's what, like 8 hours
Yeah.
of programming. It's fucking wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I've been elated since watching that.
Wow.
I-
I haven't heard you say that you were elated for a very long time.
I'm
Yeah.
halfway through. Finished episode 4, and I was just.
couldn't
I'm
stop.
loving every minute of it.
Like the only reason I stopped was because I had to go to sleep, and then I got off work the next day and finished it.
Yeah, so highly recommend. Do watch Good Omens. Tony, anything
Amazon
else this week?
Prime. I watched other things, but that's really just my
All right,
main thing that
we
I
have a
love.
lot to break down over
Yeah.
here. Hector and I have a corner. So why don't we start with Book Club?
Yeah,
we
Book
have Book
Club.
Club this week.
Yeah.
So we have Batman: Last Night on Earth. This is a Scott Snyder. This is part of DC's Black Label imprint.
Yep, the one with the dicks.
Yeah, the one with Bat Dicks. This is a very fascinating story. You and I read it around the same time. I think the same day, actually.
Same day, yeah.
And this is of course, this is an Elseworlds title. It takes place in the future of Gotham. And the story itself is really based around the question, is Batman good for Gotham?
Right.
So you have to redo that entire thing.
Oh, do we?
What did you do?
I thought I was typing text, and I hit.
You turned the stream off, or what?
No, the stream's still going. I thought I was typing over here because these wonderful people subscribe to us,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, "Hey, thank you." but I hit like the T, and it started playing.
I
The
apologize.
crazy, like, I'm super sorry. This is like I haven't fucked up this hard in a while.
Yeah.
Wow, we were just having
Yeah.
a day of it.
It is one of those days.
So,
Yeah.
I guess go grab yourself a drink or something. We're gonna repeat the last like 2 minutes. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because I scratched my pinky.
Yeah.
I'm blaming
I'm so
my
sorry.
pinky
I'm so
scratch.
sorry.
All
everybody.
right.
Yeah.
It's always better the second time anyway, right?
Isn't it just? No one likes the
First
first
time's
time.
awkward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird. All right.
Still like figuring out what you like.
Yeah.
Prelude.
All right, this is the prelude. This is what we've been doing with ourselves this week. What we've been playing, what we've been watching, what's been occupying our free time. Tony, why don't we start with you this week?
I watched Good Omens, Amazon series based on one of my favorite books of all time, Good Omens, or the Nice and Accurate Prophecies of Agnes Nutter. It's done by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. Well, one's still alive, but two of the best English authors in the last century.
Yeah.
I love this show. It was so fucking good.
We've all read the books. Do you think that it holds up
It
comparatively
is.
to the books?
It is the books at this point. I mean, they had to cut out a little bit, and they added a little bit here and there, but that's just to make book to television transfer or even movie transfer. You got to change a little bit to tell a story in a different format.
Yeah, I've been watching it. I'm about halfway through, and it is smooth enough that I don't notice anything missing from the book.
Yeah.
After I watched the first 2 episodes, I went and started listening to the audio book on my way to work, and from what I've seen, when someone speaks in the show, they're saying a line from the book for the most part.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's scarily close, which is kind of unheard of when you're transferring a book to television.
No kidding.
And
It's one of my favorite books. It's one of my once a year I'll go back and listen to it or reread it.
you can tell that the everybody involved in it had a care and reverence for the original source material and trying to make something that is the funniest version of the apocalypse ever into a screen version
Yeah,
of
and
the
you know what?
funniest
I
version of the
don't think
apocalypse.
that I
It's
actually
great.
put it into the show notes this week. I absolutely meant to, so I'll just drop it into here. It did come up in the news this week that at the premiere of Good Omens, there was a seat left vacant for Terry Pratchett. And that was just that hurt my heart a little bit. It was like, oh man, you guys opened a seat just for him. Like he should have been there, but he's not.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm only an episode into it. You're about halfway through.
Yeah.
Tony's finished it, and I guess that's
I stayed up late and watched the first 2 episodes, had to go to sleep for work, got off work, and then finished the rest of it.
Right.
Like I was so happy with what I was seeing, so enthused, and just I felt young, and it was amazing. Like I felt like it was the first time I read the book. I got to experience the show, and it was perfect.
That's awesome. All right, so Hector, we have a bunch of stuff to cover this week for our end. So why don't we kick things off talking about comics?
Yeah.
We're going to do book club again.
Book club.
Comic recommendation from us. I'm going to just say it out here from the beginning.
Yeah.
Highly recommend this book.
Very much so.
This is Batman Last Night on Earth, book 1. It's Scott Snyder that's doing it. This is from DC's Black Label.
The one with the dicks.
So Bat Dick Central. This is a in the future story of Batman.
Yeah.
So this is it's very Mad Maxy, one would say. Definitely a lot of Mad Max references.
Oh, yeah.
The story itself, without any real spoilers, is exploring the concept of, does Gotham actually need Batman, or does he just kind of make things worse?
Right.
It really dives into this mentality of does his mere presence really fuck with the order of things, and things escalate more with him around.
Yeah.
But in this kind of post-apocalyptic world, in a sense, and I don't know. I can't say too much about it without giving it away. All I can really say is I cannot recommend this book enough. Seriously, all the DC Black Label stuff right now is so high quality, and people need to be getting on these and reading these books.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This one I have this big backlog of comics that I'm reading right now, and I usually don't interrupt my list. But I grabbed this one and I read it, and just because the art looked so great, and the what makes this is Batman a good or bad influence on the world story, different from all the others. Feels like those are about two people with ideologies fighting each other, while this seems like now we're in the consequences part.
Right.
And now we really get to look around us and see, did Batman do good or did Batman do bad?
Right. That's a big recommendation. Also, on my side of things that I did for the week, I just want to briefly touch on it. I started the game BattleTech. It went on sale on Steam. Went and picked it up. I'm like 20 hours in. I foresee me wasting a whole lot of my life on this. I played a lot of BattleTech in high school. I was that kid who, like, me and my friend would sit in the actual, like, cafeteria while we ate and, like, played BattleTech, like the board game. And so playing a game that feels like that in video game format is just
How close is it
absolutely
is that to the?
It's very, very close. Going based off the rule system that I know, the archaic rule system, there are definitely changes. They're made for the better. There's some changes that are made to make it a little more video gamey. But for the most part, most things that are in the BattleTech video game are almost like bit by bit by bit straight from the tabletop. It's actually a mix of the tabletop mini game and the actual Mech Warrior role playing game, because you have Mech Warriors that their stats get raised and you get to put points in them and do all that stuff. So yeah, that was a big part of it. So Hector, what else did we do this week? Did you watch Swamp Thing?
Yes, I watched Swamp Thing.
Let's talk about Swamp Thing.
Oh yeah.
Can we not like? I didn't
Did you
have
not
a
watch
chance.
it?
I didn't have a chance to watch it this
Well,
weekend.
we're here to provide the spoiler-free
Right.
review of
Is
of
there
Swamp
a
The
Thing.
reason
swamp
I
and
didn't-
maybe a thing?
the
Is there
reason
a
I-
swamp and a thing?
There is a thing. There are things.
There are things.
Yeah,
There's a lot of tentacles.
So, but the thing about that, the reason I didn't watch Good Omens all the way through, I didn't binge it, is because I watched like 4 other shows this week.
Yeah,
but
see,
one of them was Swamp Thing.
I didn't. I specifically was like, I'm going to watch this because I'm a true fan of the book, and you're not, apparently.
Let's just remember that when we swing around to talking about Nosferatu.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Fuck! I forgot that aired again this week. Is it the first episode of that?
First
First
episode.
episode.
Yeah.
Okay,
they
so we had the
actually-
first episode of not only Nosferatu and also Swamp Thing,
Yeah.
and we had Good Omens,
Yeah.
and something else aired that I can't remember because
It's the Deadwood movie.
I watched the Deadwood movie.
You watched the Deadwood
I watched
movie.
the Deadwood
you
movie.
got to that.
Yeah, I literally never finished Deadwood, but I watched the Deadwood movie.
You didn't finish Deadwood. Do you have any idea what was going on in the movie?
Yes, it's very easy to follow. It's not a very complicated story.
Okay, so dial it back. Let's go to Swamp Thing real quick. Swamp Thing is
Yeah.
a DC Unlimited show in the vein of Doom Patrol and Titans, and it is definitely none of those because damn, this was a good fucking TV show.
It was great. It was.
Well, Hector said
it
some
is-
great things about Doom Patrol.
It is.
I don't know. Doom
that's
Patrol
true.
is phenomenal,
But-
and it's only getting better.
But straight up, it is classic John Carpenter body horror.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a giant homage to The Thing as you watch it. And you're just like, holy shit, is this good? I would not say it's scary, but it does some really cool practical effects.
Is it better than the 80s Swamp Thing movies?
I
Yes.
think most things are. I think my cat puking on the carpet is probably better than the 80s Swamp Thing.
This
I
is
think
true.
The 80s... the
Wasn't
80s
it like a
movies were
USA
good.
show?
There
Yeah.
was
Something,
yeah.
or there was a USA one in the '90s, maybe.
Yeah, and it's all these memories are all combining into one weird Swamp Thing memory for all of us.
So here's my take on what I watch. It's not scary, but it's very obviously horror, and that made it fun. They're doing something with their special effects. There's a lot of really great practical stuff, and there's a lot of CG on top of it, because that's
Yeah.
how special effects work. But when you see a lot of the CG, it's almost as if they drew it out in like a campier way than they had to.
Yeah.
It feels a little bit like
almost
a
intentionally campy, like Sam Raimi campy.
like a Sam Raimi practical effect, but rendered as CG.
Yeah.
That's what the effect I get from a lot of the CG. It's
the way that the vines stutter
yes,
sometimes and
it's
stuff.
scary in that like old cheesy way, and I don't know. It's very charming.
It's a love letter to horror, though.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and James Wan is the producer on it, and one of our big takeaways from watching the first episode of Swamp Thing is that it didn't feel like a show. It felt like I just watched the first part of a movie.
Yeah.
Like the way that it was shot.
See, in
the way
that case, it makes me want to wait like 2 more weeks, and I can have like 3 episodes to go into.
Yeah.
And you know what?
And
That
not-
that was
I really did feel like I watched the first half of a movie when the credits ended, and I was mad that I couldn't binge the
the
show.
best review I can honestly give you for Swamp Thing is that I got done with the first episode and said, "Fuck, I really want to be watching the second episode."
I think honestly, with y'all's recommendation now, I'm going to wait a couple of weeks to
do
get
it.
on the Swamp Thing train so I can binge a little bit of it and have that that full release and not just that half. That
We did have a comment from chat just wondering if any of us here watched Cloak and Dagger season 1 and 2.
I watched
I'm actually in the middle of the season 2 finale right now, but
Oh.
that show's fantastic. I love the Luke Cage name drop they did in it. It was awesome. What else did we? So you watched Nosferatu. We need to
I
briefly talk
did
about
watch Nosferatu.
another book adaptation.
Yep, another book adaptation. And what can I say about it? I loved it. It was definitely scarier than Swamp Thing, even though it also isn't really scary. It's just a really interesting world. I almost don't really know where they're going with it, but that is the best part of the beginning of any. I was gonna say Stephen King story, but Joe Hill story too.
Yeah.
I mean, but yeah, it's. I loved it. I can't wait to watch more, and I can watch more. Here's a little bit of trivia. AMC, while they are airing the show week to week, it aired the first episode last night. If you have the AMC streaming service, they drop the entire show at that moment. So you can the whole season is available
what you're saying
right
is
now.
I, after the show ends, can go watch all of Nosferatu.
You can, absolutely.
You absolutely can.
Guess what I'm doing?
Anything else?
Yeah, my last thing is, I know I mentioned it last week, but I'm almost finished with the first season of Doom Patrol, and it's only gotten better since I started it. This show is relentlessly, endlessly fucking creative. Like, in a really big way. There's an entire episode centered around a character who is a genderqueer city street named Danny.
Okay.
That has a really fabulous burlesque club on it.
That sounds awesome.
And that it is a conscious character that talks to you through the street signs on its street. It can also
That's actually a really cool idea.
Move anywhere in the world, and there are people that live on Danny Street, and he accepts them, and they accept him, and they all love each other because Danny, the street, they are genderqueer. And so are a lot of the people who work in that burlesque club. This all happened. This is just a character in the show that is interacting with the other characters in the show, and it's one of the coolest fucking things I've ever seen. And it's like halfway through the first season.
This show sounds so weird.
It is so weird, and it's really good weird though, and I'm completely in love with it.
Yeah, man, we are getting so many good TV shows right now. It's like looking at the schedule for this last week, I was like, I don't think I have time for all of this.
No, yeah.
Like,
Someone just asked if Doom Patrol was better than Umbrella Academy. I would points for style definitely go to Umbrella Academy, but points for heart all go to Doom Patrol.
Okay. I mean, it's two different things.
It is two different things,
two
and
different
it's
types of
actually
stories.
it's not that hard because they're both. I mean, without having a bunch of DC fans come and murder me, they're kind of both based on the X-Men.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Well, hey, you know that's the argument though. Which
That
came,
is the argument.
Which came out first, Doom Patrol or the X-Men?
Yeah,
So-
and because they came out within like a month of each other.
Yeah, they did. So, all right, that's everything we have for the prelude this week. We're going to take a small break. When we come back, we'll be going into our main news segment, the Weekly Raid. Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
That was good.
That was better the second time. Yeah.
I gotta
You're-
hit the can real quick.
Okay. You're probably better
Both
off
are
that you
open.
came in a little bit late because I've been stuttering all over the entire episode. It's been fucking
And I'd
horrible.
straight up fucking
Hector,
fat
doll,
fingered
could
an
you get me
entire
another
episode,
cider?
or entire fucking section. I'm just glad it wasn't. It was at the beginning,
Yes.
like in the first like 6 minutes. You're like,
Blood Orange is great. Thank you.
we're on 312.
Yes. How's everybody doing today? Did you guys do anything fun?
Yeah, what's the internet been up to this last week? What have y'all been playing? What have you been doing? What have you been? I don't know. I got nothing. I was gonna say what you've been jerking off to, but I really don't want to know that
yeah,
answer.
you don't want to answer that question. Doom Patrol. Yeah, so Doom Patrol has a weird history, right? So Doom Patrol's original run came out during the original run of the X-Men. So we're talking about the 60s here. And so the comics themselves came out within a month of each other with having a very similar concept, basically. And they got revisited. Obviously, X-Men blew them out of the water, and nobody cared about Doom Patrol.
Yeah, one has historically held up, even though it's had some ups and
I want
downs.
to say like Gerard Way or somebody picked up Doom Patrol and started writing for it at some point.
Which would be funny because he also created Umbrella Academy. So.
Right? Yeah, it's crazy.
And Brooklyn, you're going the last day of E3.
Brooklyn's gonna be at
that's cool
E3.
for you.
Yeah.
I'm super jealous. Bring me back something.
Right? Like, give me. Some
I asked
merch.
first.
Adventure League and getting addicted to Hero Forge. Okay.
That sounds like
fun.
fun.
Lots of fun stuff.
I did my pre-Destiny 2 expansion grinding stuff.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of stuff set to where I can day one get a bunch of like instantly update like just give me my fucking powerful Ingrams right the fuck now so I can try and I'm gonna try and go for the first week raid, not doing world's first or first 24 hours, even though I really want to do first 24 hours.
I feel weirdly nostalgic for online multiplayer game where I feel compelled to do chores before the expansion
Right,
comes out.
yeah.
I haven't had that feeling in a long time.
Actually, I had to do less than what was expected because they're turning off so much of the game, so World's First can exist within kind of its own little microcosm bubble of hardness. They removed the ability to gain a lot of the XP things, so I did as much as I could. I didn't have to go super balls out crazy and micromanage everything. It's like, I got plenty of shit on my screen. I'm fine.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what I'm looking forward to. I mean, basically, this coming weekend, that's what I'm going to be doing is trying to get the raid together, get a group of people together, do the thing.
And watching all of E3.
And yeah.
Fuck, that's also this weekend.
Yep. All right, start us up.
Oh, I hate my life.
You know what game
I'm
we're
really
gonna do
glad
that
my
with?
computer
Monster
seems to be
Hunter World.
fixed.
Yeah.
I'm going to do some chores before the expansion comes
There you go. Have you tried, was it Dauntless?
No.
The free Monster Hunter?
I'm waiting for Code Vein.
Oh, yeah. Well, for the thing about Dauntless is that, and I heard someone say it who was an enormous fan of Monster Hunter World. He said it always just feels like discount Monster Hunter World.
Yeah.
And in a world
It's
where
Paladins versus Overwatch.
And in a world where Monster Hunter World exists, there's no reason to play Dauntless. Basically.
Again, it comes down to the visualizations for it. Like, Dauntless is way more cartoony.
Well, it's actually it's a super simplified version of Monster Hunter World because I don't know if you've ever played one yourself, but it's a very complex game.
I tried the beta and I fucking hated it. The menu system was convoluted and made no sense.
Yeah,
The menu system is probably the worst thing about Monster Hunter.
The interface in general is almost it has to be purposefully obtuse.
Yeah.
They didn't do that on accident because it is so obtuse.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really hated about it. And I said, fuck this, I'm not playing this. Your stupid rat cat thing is dumb and I hate that too.
It's you learn to love it.
I hate pretty much everything about Monster Hunter World. So when I saw Dauntless, I was like, yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm never going to play that though.
All right, let's jump in.
Yep.
All the codes. Alrighty. The Weekly Raid.
Hey, Adventurers, welcome back to the show. This is the Weekly Raid. It is our news roundup for the week. All right, we're going to kick things off this week talking about something that we have talked way too much about on this show, which is death in comics.
No, okay.
Yeah.
We've done an entire episodes about how horrible death in comics is just as a whole.
Yeah, no, it always comes down to anytime you have a character die, 6 months later they come back because you need that basically ratings boost or sales boost. So you just kill somebody off to get that boost. 6 months later, bring it back, and you're like, cool, death is meaningless.
Yeah, nobody really dies.
And one of the other big problems with this in the comics industry is that too often comics or characters are killed off for the sake of we need to boost our sales in the comics.
Oh, yeah.
Let's kill X person off. Done. Oftentimes X person because most of them are X-Men.
Yeah, true that.
I mean, honestly, there are only like 200 of them left. They can only kill so many.
That is true.
Well, that's not true because they can just bring the ones they kill back, which they're gonna.
Yeah, no.
So-
in a perfect world, there are no X-Men.
We are not saying that there's not going to be death and resurrection in comics anymore, but the head of Marvel Comics came out this week and said that he's putting a very firm flag in the ground saying we are no longer going to just kill off characters for shock value. A death in the Marvel Universe needs to have impact, it needs to have meaning, it needs to be worth, like, you as a reader going out and picking up that issue, and there be repercussions from it. Are we saying that nobody's ever going to get resurrected? No, we're not saying that. But
In a world where the X-Men exist, somebody's
Right.
getting resurrected.
I mean-
Somebody's going to fuck with time travel.
Yeah.
Or Reed Richards is going to fuck with time travel. Somebody's going to fuck with time travel and fuck up the whole thing again.
Well, I mean, there's a good way to do it and a bad way to do it, right?
Time travel's the worst way to do it.
Yeah. So, correct me if I'm wrong. If my dates are wrong, or if my history is wrong or in the wrong order.
We'll always tell you if you're wrong.
If I'm not mistaken, when Superman died, it was a year before we got him back in actual human time.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that the comic books let. And think about, and what just came to mind while you were talking was Infinity War, and how we pretty much knew nobody was going to die except for the people who did. You all know who did. You listened to our episode from last week.
Yep.
Tony Stark's super dead. Black Widow's super dead.
And so the thing
Just gonna
about
keep
that
spoiling
is-
this for everybody.
But the thing about this is they let us sit here for a year. They filmed both the movies at the same time.
Yeah.
They let us sit here for a year and let people be dead. And I know that the death of Superman was pretty disastrous for the industry, if
It
I'm
was,
not mistaken.
absolutely.
But I
You
mean,
you just got done reading a book about it.
exactly. So regardless of the effect it had on the comic industry, it was a pretty effective way of killing Superman if you'd never really meant for him to be gone forever. And we kind of got the same thing with Infinity War, and I feel like that's a good way to handle it.
Yeah, and so that's what he's kind of coming out and saying is like we're never going to have like death and resurrections ever again. Like people have beloved
that shit's
characters.
super gonna happen.
Right, people have beloved characters. These things will happen.
Yeah.
But what we are saying is that we are no longer going to take the approach of, hey, let's just kill a superhero a month and have him come back the next year.
Yeah.
With no emotional impact on anybody. No. I guess they want these characters to resonate powerfully with the readers. And if we always just assume characters are automatically coming back the moment they die, what's the fucking point? Right?
Exactly.
There's
Yeah, no,
no
there was the
point.
joke website that was "Is Wolverine Still Dead?" like .com or whatever. I think that might have been the address.
My new favorite.
And it was literally just like, "Is Wolverine still dead?" Yep. And then at the moment they just like, "Well, Wolverine's back." Nope, it's back again,
Nope,
fuckers.
he's
And it
back.
would tell you like how how
Is there a
long he actually
timeline?
stayed dead. Yeah.
Awesome.
There's one that I found recently that I found pretty funny. I think it's called like has DC fucked up today.com.
And the answer's always yes.
Pretty often the
It's
answer
just
is
a white
yes.
page that says yes in the middle of it.
So actually, speaking of DC, let's go ahead and roll over to them. It was announced this week there's going to be a new Black Label DC comic book. So we were just talking about
Yep.
Batman Last Night on Earth. I've been reading Batman Damned, which is fantastic. Batman White Knight is fantastic. Seriously, DC Black Label is some of the best comic book stuff out there. Although
If you like Batman.
But if you like Batman.
Only if you like
I
Batman.
feel like this is like the hipster moment. It was like I really liked it when it was called Vertigo instead.
No, see, Vertigo had things other than Batman.
Right.
Yeah, Vertigo had no Batman.
So Hector and I were talking about this. So Hector and I do.
they just put Batman into Vertigo and called it something else.
So Hector and I go and do these like weekly comic book runs on Wednesdays, and we go out for lunch together and we grab comic books, and we're talking about DC Black Label because we were going to pick up this book and how we were excited about it. And at some point during this conversation in the car, we were like, right, but DC's Black Label is supposed to be their adult versions of their main characters. So Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all this stuff. Why is it only Batman? Did people just get into a room and say, all right, so we're going to do these adult DC Comics. Who wants to work on this? Everybody raised their hand. And then they're like, okay, so what does everybody want to work on? And everybody went, Batman. And you're like,
Well, I think it's because Batman's the only socially acceptable. That's not the word I was trying to say. I'm gonna fuck it up if I try to say acceptable again. Character and world that can have these adult stories. That it already lends itself so naturally to telling darker stories because he's the dark brooding guy.
Well, see,
and he
and
has a
that's
crazy
Kyle Rayner's
fucking clown.
girlfriend got put in a refrigerator.
Right, like there's a
I mean, I don't want to comment on their sex life, but what they want to do is up to them.
and don't get me wrong. So far, all of the Black Label stories have been really, really good. All the ones that I've read and the ones that James has reported
yeah.
the same thing. That being said, we're like 2 books away from Batman gets addicted to heroin in the slums of Gotham. And it's like,
Right.
come on, you're not even trying anymore.
Like, where's my Black Label
See, that's
Swamp
that's the
Thing?
I
reason
want-
why
I
they
want-
stopped the show Gotham because that was the next season.
No, I want Black Label like Green Lantern. I want like some crazy dark shit to happen
like
to
the
that guy.
Flash and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
the Flash.
Okay, but this next book is kind of interesting. This is going to be a Joker Harley Quinn comic book called Criminal Sanity. So a DC Black Label comic with those two is already going to go. Who
Yeah,
the fuck knows
all the places.
where?
You know what I really want for that? We've already got Harley Quinn boobs. That happened.
Are you ready?
I want Joker helicopter dicking.
Are you ready for the byline?
Come, you
for
just
this?
fucking
I don't-
helicopter dicking Joker.
I
Why
don't-
do you not want this? You're
I,
trying
you
to
know
stop
what?
my.
I don't necessarily want to see the Joker's penis. I 100% want to see his pubes.
All right. So
I want to know what that's about.
I think he says like a dick sock, and then he helicopters that. Is that more acceptable for you? You can still see the pubes, but dick sock.
it's the Joker. You know there's something going on there.
Like, are they green? Are they red? Are they French fries?
What shape
we
are
don't
they
know.
in? Have they been styled?
Yeah, like is it just like is it a question mark? Is it like a Riddler thing for him?
Is there glitter?
Yeah.
Did he say the ha ha?
All right,
I'm just
so
thinking of fun things I can do now.
I'm going to just get into the description of what this comic is.
We are not going to listen.
I know. In Gotham City, where heinous acts of violence are a daily occurrence, the GCPD relies on Harley Quinn, a young forensic psychiatrist and profiler, to consult on their toughest cases. But Harley is haunted by one case in particular, when she found herself at the center of a horrifying crime scene the night that she discovered the body of her roommate, left with the signature of a notorious serial killer, the Joker. So this is kind of our basics. This is the intro of Harley Quinn meeting the Joker and how this is all going to like basically fuck her up for the rest of her life.
Yeah.
So this is whenever she was Harley and Quinzel.
Yeah.
And she was the doctor that was working with the Joker and all of that. Because it does actually come straight up from Batman the Animated Series.
Oh yeah,
that origin story.
They invented the character.
She created Harley. They created Harley Quinn and her backstory. So this is exploring that backstory that was created
exploring the backstory,
in the animation.
So in the animation, it was really just she showed up at to work with him at Arkham Asylum. She got converted by being around him.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna
it's brainwashing.
This is going to be an Elseworld that's going to be super ultra violent and go into like Joker doing really fucked up things, and basically us trying to make sense of the fact that she would fall for somebody that would do these horrible things.
Every fucking time I see a girl who's like, I want a relationship like Harley and the Joker's like, no, the fuck you don't.
Yeah, that's.
Are you fucking crazy?
It's a terribly abusive relationship.
That is super not a healthy relationship in any form whatsoever.
Yeah.
The codependency is ridiculous. It's a horrible. I don't want to go into it. It's too much. And this is the topic for that.
We are not that kind of show. All right, so
there are shows for that if you're actually interested.
We are all giant fans of Avengers Endgame, obviously. We did an entire episode about it last week. But we've been wondering what the Russo brothers are going to be up to next.
Oh, yeah.
We were like, what could they possibly do after Avengers Endgame? I mean, like...
They could do whatever they want.
You could do whatever you want.
They could.
Right?
They could. And in hindsight, the one thing I want them to do is make me not hate Thanos, because I loved Thanos, and then they made me hate him, and I don't like that. But they made me love him again.
What they're going to be doing is much more daring than that.
Right. Keep going.
They're going to be working with Netflix, and they are going to be adapting Magic the Gathering into an animated show.
Okay.
That's an odd move. It's not a bad or a good move. It's quality neutral.
I feel like there's some like.
I'm just really wondering where you can get the Bluth family car, which was the airplane stairs. Where are they going to hide that in this? Because
we are in luck though, because everyone who worked on Community will have some voice acting work to do.
Yeah,
that is very true.
That is great. I'm looking forward to this because as a fan of Magic the Gathering and the mythology of that world and how...
See, that's what I wanted to get into here, because I played so much Magic growing up. I could not tell you a fucking lick of ass about the lore of fucking Magic the Gathering.
There are MTG lore masters, and I don't ever want to speak to one, is the thing. But... I mean, I know there's a lot to adapt there, especially once they introduced, what are the dudes called?
Planeswalkers.
Planeswalkers.
So I guess that's where all the lore comes from, is the Planeswalkers?
Well,
it's specifically always been called the Duel of the Planeswalkers. It's on the fucking cards in the fucking
Not
alpha.
in my generation of playing Magic.
Yeah, it's the fucking Duel of the Planeswalkers. I have the rule books going back that fucking far. The Planeswalkers have always been that. They're the magic users summoning fucking creatures to attack each other in different fucking realms. Jesus Christ, you people not read the fucking manual?
Nobody cared. First of all,
that's where the rules live.
There were no Planeswalker cards until much, much later.
There weren't cards, but got information about the Planeswalker.
You were the Planeswalker.
You were playing as a Planeswalker.
Right.
You were someone summoning creatures, and that's where you found out about. I'm gonna fuck up the name, like Ursa. And Urza and a couple of the other planeswalkers that have their own realms that they control. And I'm not a lore master on this by any stretch of the imagination, but like it seems like neither one of you actually read the fucking cards.
No.
I read them so that I could play them.
Yeah. Like everyone else who played Magic.
You know, of all the people I didn't expect to go into this conversation, be like, well, we're going to have somebody on this panel to talk Magic the Gathering lore. I didn't expect it to be Tony.
No, me neither.
Imagine that. It's a weird, like, stupid, arbitrary thing that there's lore attached to it. Of course I'm going to like some of it. Like, Jesus fuck.
All right, well, let's continue down this stupid, arbitrary lore route then and jump from Magic the Gathering into a trailer that just blew our minds this week. It was a 10-minute trailer, Hector.
I watched a lot of trailers.
definitely watched
you're
it.
talking about Death Stranding.
Oh, I was supposed to watch that, but I didn't because I don't care.
That's fine.
You're going to talk about a person who puts like lots of arbitrary lore in what he does.
Oh my!
Oh, it's Kojima.
Oh my! Hang on, give me like 20 minutes, and then wait here 4 hours while I read you what happened to Solid Snake, or just the big boss. And then these are just a few characters in a few games.
I have watched Metal Gear lore videos, and I think of almost any other game that I've watched lore videos for. Metal Gear's had some of the most ridiculous.
Oh
shit.
yeah. Oh yeah.
It is. And this is somebody who has played all the games. And I'm like, and I go back and I think, was it really that ridiculous?
Yes.
Yes.
No, it's easier
was.
to digest the videos talking about the philosophical breakdown of what Kojima's trying to say than the people who try to explain what really happened in the story. That what really happened in the story is far, far more complicated and just
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, this is the reason why I never liked his games, because they were just ridiculous. They didn't make any sense. The plot lines were fucking all over the place. The stories themselves were just over the fucking top.
I love hearing him talk about this.
And I didn't enjoy them.
When Kojima is so often referenced as like the Tarantino of video games.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I disagree with that, because Kojima, in his defense, has original ideas. Whether I like them or not are different. Quentin Tarantino takes other people's work and then mashes it together in a blender, and that's what you get. Yeah, he does it now Kiss with fucking 70s movies, and that's what the end result is. And I love that. It's great. It's enjoyable. But he's not... The two people are not similar in their storytelling aspects.
So, Hector, we watched a 10-minute trailer for
Yep.
Death Stranding. What was learned over the course of this trailer?
Is it still post-apocalyptic Amazon baby delivery service?
You're not delivering babies.
Okay.
You
Are you a baby?
No. The babies help you.
Is the baby your save system?
No.
Is it your respawn system?
Okay, so
I'm just asking
you-
questions
No,
here.
the baby, so far as we can tell, help you see ghosts that are out, but they're only out when it's raining. Let me go back to the beginning. So, but before we get to the babies, we had seen lots of stuff before in a very Kojima-y trailer, just basically mashing a bunch of stuff in our eyes and ears, and us going, huh? And then he goes, yep, and see you in like 7 years. And so what we finally got is actual bits of gameplay and a much better understanding of what this game is about and what we're doing. We still are Norman Reedus, and what it appears to be the plot so far is we have something happened and we're in post-apocalyptic America, and your job as a Norman Reedus is to
I think it's as a Norman Reedus.
is to travel between outposts, because these major outposts of civilization
So you're like the postman.
are no longer connected to each other in any meaningful way.
Yeah,
so
so
you
like
travel
the
from
postman.
one outpost to another, but your goal isn't just to deliver their mail. Your goal is to actually get them connected again.
Okay, so you're like
So you travel from place to place with whatever you have.
you're like Ma Bell,
Right.
but with a baby.
And while you're out there, you get attacked by bandits. And so far, what we've seen is if it's raining or weird outside, in whatever sense that means.
How does it be weird outside?
You need to watch the trailer and you'll know.
It's slightly foggy, but there's like a frog following you. That's a little weird.
It's a little weird. Just watch the fucking trailer. But yeah, so sometimes it's a little weird outside, and that's when you need to get your baby. And so you got your baby and you plug him in.
Strap on my baby. It's
So-
getting
so-
a little weird outside. The
so-
rain's going sideways.
So you plug in your baby that is strapped to your chest, and all
Yep.
of a sudden
This is
you
the
can
dumbest thing I've
see
ever heard.
where the ghosts are, so that you don't walk into them, because they
Can eat you.
can eat you. Really, they suck you into the ground. It's weird.
It's very Sam Raimi.
Yes.
Like you go first person, like in the Evil Dead movies when that happens. And
This seriously sounds like the stupidest
like I
fucking
said,
hot
it's
dream I've
easier
ever
to
fucking
understand
seen.
what the
I've
game is
seen
about.
the lore of Destiny. Don't you fucking go throwing rocks right
True
now.
that.
There are millions of years of history of Destiny. This is again, I'm judging a game before it's come out.
Yeah. So
And
here's
we're
the
having
thing.
fun poking fun out of it.
Again-
weirdly, I do kind of want to play this because
You know it's going to be interesting
it's
you'll
also,
not be
it's-
bored.
Also, because it's not Metal Gear.
Yes.
and I want to experience something that Kojima made. Like whenever he was doing Silent Hill, I was like, "Fuck yes, I want this," because it's not a franchise that I don't enjoy.
Right.
So this is his first foray outside of Metal Gear.
Yeah.
And
With the gloves
a demo.
off.
Yeah, with the gloves fully
And he
off,
can do whatever
and
he
all the
fuck he
Sony
wants.
money he wants. And again, like I said earlier, it's easier to understand what the game's themes are than what's happening in the game.
Yeah.
The game's themes are all about connection. Stranding, he's talking about actual strands between things, connecting things.
And death is the things between the
And
strands.
so whatever happened to cause the apocalypse.
Actually, on the website,
Also, there's time
gives
travel,
better
by the way.
descriptions.
Oh
about
no!
things.
Don't fuck with no.
So, like the actual Death Stranding website, after you got done with the trailer, if you go on there, it gives a better breakdown and explanation as to what's going on.
It does.
It really gets into kind of the meat of it. He does talk about the politics of it because he believes that in our current political climate, we are very disconnected from each other, and that's part of what.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's been multiple studies. It's not just politics. Multiple studies have shown the more interconnected the world gets, the less we actually are connected.
Right, and so that's a big part of the game is that we're not as connected as we used to be with our communication and stuff like that. So it looks very fascinating, but I guess the big thing that really came out of this was we got a release date.
We did. We got a release date.
And it's not like 2 years from now release date.
It's November 8th. It's 2 days after my birthday. So I'm taking November 8th off, by the way, because that's happening.
Yeah, but I mean, it's surprising because we didn't know. We thought this was going to be like a 2020 release, 2021.
The rumors were that The Last of Us 2...
Right.
That The Last of Us 2 were going to come out this year at the end of the year, and sometime in the future, hopefully next year, we were going to get Death Stranding. Right. And it turns out that has flopped. Last of Us 2 is definitely not coming out this year. This has been said over and over again now. And Death Stranding comes out this year.
Right. So I'm excited about it. It's a definite day one pickup for me.
Oh yeah, me too.
I don't know if I'm willing to drop the $200 for the collector's edition that gives you a life-size baby.
It does come with an actual size baby that you can.
You know
plug
what?
in.
Honestly, I've paid $200 to get rid of a baby. I'd rather not pay $200 to have one.
That's fair.
All right, so I'm super excited about that. Let's talk very briefly, or at length if you really want to, about Call of Duty.
Very briefly.
Yeah.
Just in general.
I
Do
understand
you
that
know what's
you're,
going on?
I understand.
What? No, I know. Explain to me what's going on because my knowledge of current, my current understanding of Call of Duty is I don't like them and I want them to go away.
Right. So what we have is we got a trailer, and this came about 3 weeks after the announcement that there was some trouble brewing with Call of Duty for this year. We heard that one of the studios had been taken over by Treyarch, so that Treyarch could do some work. And everyone's like, "Oh my God, they just dunked on their other team. What are we gonna do? You know, there must be something bad going on." And then this trailer drops, and this trailer, it looks amazing. It looks better than any Call of Duty game.
Called Modern Warfare.
Yes, better than any Call of Duty game has ever looked, and it's called Modern Warfare, not Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. It's just Modern Warfare, the game. And not only does it look great, but all the announcements showed a new engine. No season pass. All of the maps released will be free. But the big thing they said was cross-platform play. PC, Xbox, PlayStation 4. Guaranteed.
That is amazing. Like that last part, the fact it's Call of Duty, I don't care. The fact that there's cross-platform play is the what the fuck happened behind the scenes, because that means Sony's not putting money into this to make exclusives, because if they want exclusives, that means they're going to pay for it, which means they're not going to allow cross-platform play.
Right.
We found out about that whenever it came down to getting details about Bungie leaving, and when they were specifically told, you cannot include cross-platform play because we are giving you money.
They either changed their mind or they decided to throw their money instead at making actual exclusives for the console instead of trying to.
No, and I'm pro that. I'm pro making your own exclusives versus paying a bunch of other companies to get this map for 6 months or these skins or some random bullshit.
Right, but every other point about this is equally as important. This whole DLC plan for Call of Duty, we're not going to be nickel and diming.
Okay, honestly,
and that DLC plan has been in place for Call of Duty since Modern Warfare 2. I mean, they've had just map packs come out every couple of months, or you get the season pass, you get all the map packs at once. That happened whenever. Around the time Borderlands 1 came out, I think.
In my mind, then I immediately go to, how are they going to fuck us over on...
Right? It's like abusive spouse. And
because,
oh my God,
because this sounds too good to be true.
Right, how are you going to hurt me?
You just gave me way too much information that was cool. somebody is going to be bending me over and fucking me in the middle of this somehow.
We're gonna find out. We got a release date. It's about the last week of October. I think it was October 20th.
I get that it's a Modern Warfare, and people have been wanting Modern Warfare to be remastered and redone and brought forward. I am a big World War II fan of the original Call of Duty games, and I wanted them to go back to that instead. But you know what? Honestly, if they can do this and not fuck people over on the charging a bunch of money for skins or doing specific PC, Xbox, or Sony exclusive content and actually having cross-platform play, this is the kick in the fucking teeth that the industry needs.
I hope so. Oh, there was the other announcement was that this one does indeed have a full single-player campaign, and you can do it in co-op.
See, for me, as a person who enjoys the Call of Duty co-op, or sorry, not co-op, the stories, which we have gotten crap for years now.
But the Modern Warfare one was cool, and characters are returning. We got Soap back, we got McTavish back, we got people.
You know, see, that's what I'm excited for. The story of Modern Warfare was interesting. The story of all the Call of Duty games has been pretty fucking cool. But it just turned too much into techno flying drones simulator, and I was like, I don't fucking enjoy this. So I stopped playing Call of Duty a couple of years ago whenever they started adding stupid fucking techno drone bullshit. And this seems like maybe they're going to dial that back a little bit and give people more of that core Call of Duty experience that they liked in the beginning.
That being said, Modern Warfare was famous for having a really good campaign with some well-known missions. The not most popular, but most known being No Russian. There are rumors flying around now about the campaign, and one that I heard was that there is a mission in this one that will make No Russian look like a birthday party.
Wow.
And someone said the words child soldiers. So it seems
you know what, honestly,
I don't know if that's where they're going, but if you're
gonna call a game Modern Warfare, you might want to put some Modern Warfare in it.
True that.
All right, so let's wrap up our Call of Duty discussion, move on to our last little bit of news talk for the week. We're going to be talking very briefly about Fallout 76.
Why?
That's still, I mean,
because it's almost E3, and one E3 ago, we got promised this amazing game that turned out to not be that.
I mean, technically,
turned
they
out
did
to
release,
barely be a game.
Yeah, they released a Fallout game, but they also released like cell phone Fallout games too.
Yeah,
like these games did come out, and they're not good.
Amazing.
Yeah, they did. Shelter. I'd play Shelter all of the hours that somebody would have asked me to play 76.
Yeah. All right. So Todd Howard got interviewed this week and was very candid about the success or not success of Fallout
Blatant
76.
failure. Outrageous failure.
If he didn't say those words, then he wasn't very candid.
He knew that it was going to get some poor reviews and it was going to have a lot of technical issues.
Putting it so generously.
I'm trying to be nice about this.
And that's fine.
So, you know what? This is what he said. He said, we knew that we were going to have a lot of bumps, that it was going to be a difficult development. It's a lot of new systems. We're trying a lot of new things. So anytime you're going to do something new like that, you're going to have your bumps. And a lot of people are going to say, that's not the game that we want from you. But we still want to be somebody that's trying new things all the time. And it was a very, very difficult development cycle to get the game where it was, and a lot of those difficulties actually ended up on the screen, the game that everybody played. And we knew this is not the kind of game that people are used to from us, and we're going to get some criticism, and it is for the most part very well-deserved criticism. But he's not owning it for the fact that it's bad.
Can I? Okay, wait, just a second, because for a lot of Fallout fans. This was the big strike one, and I see Todd coming in and saying, like, my bad. Fuck you, Todd. For me, this is like strike 9. Okay? Like, not, and it's not just the fact that I'm not a huge fan of the Fallout games, because there's something about the genre there's something about the, genre doesn't really
That's
stick
the way I
with
feel
me.
about Skyrim. Like, I like Fallout, I don't like Skyrim.
Right, but none of the modern Fallout games from 3 forward have ever released without bugs. This Fallout 76
some game actually console destroying bugs in some cases.
Fallout 76 to me was the exaggeration of everything wrong with all of the old Fallout games. So saying, "Oh, we messed up this one time. This is our bad. We had some difficulties." To me, just it feels like a slap in the face.
So here's where I got angry, because we were talking very recently on this very podcast about games as a service and the positive.
And we didn't bring up Fallout at all because we forgot about it.
And the positive and negative things that games as a service can be. this is the thing that pisses me off about games as a service. He says, and I quote, "It's not how you launch, it's what it becomes." We have some awesome stuff to reveal at E3.
About Fallout 76?
That line
Honestly,
right there. It's not about how you launch, it's about what it becomes. Sure, I get it. You've been beaten by the Destiny bug, and Destiny's better than where it was.
No, that's what I was going to say. Is like Destiny is a case where the game does get better with time, and the player base grows during that.
But to launch a game,
76 player base has also grown because they've released additional content. They've made the game better off of that experience.
Grown after it lost 99%.
Yeah, after it lost that,
players.
it has grown. Not to that same point that it was on the initial launch day, but it has gained more people because of the initial content they've launched. And Fallout 76 is in a much better place right now than where it was when it first launched, comparatively to something like Anthem, which is the exact opposite.
Can I blame Fallout 76 as gaining people on the failure of Anthem?
Yeah.
Someone was like, fuck, this sucks. I'm going to go back to my other shitty game.
Destiny was too hard, so they went to do that instead.
I am honestly, this is the line that he says here is the thing that pisses me off about a lot of games as a service. Not all of them, but a lot of them, where he says it's not how you launch, it's what it becomes. And like, yes, that is true for some games, but really it shouldn't be that. That shouldn't be, you shouldn't be going into a game development going, well, I'm just going to launch a shit product, and then in 10 years I should have a decent base because I fixed it since
then. I imagine, what last year would have been like if the people who made God of War released it a year earlier and was like, it's not how you launch, it's what it ends up being. We can update this, release it now.
Yeah.
Oh, Kratos just fell into the floor.
And that's specifically what you said, we can update this. That is the problem with current or modern game design philosophy. It's not release a product that is finished and full and done and doesn't need any patches day one or anything. It's the release it 6 months from now. We can, instead of doing crunch time, which again we don't want crunch time, but we can crunch time after the fact,
right,
and then release a patch that magically fixes the game.
Right. I mean, you want to talk about games as a service now. Outside of like the opening couple of days, when you started World of Warcraft, if you had a magic time machine and could play very fast and could level up very fast, you could play through the entire game. You could get to the end and you could have end game content with other people if they did the same thing. There was a beginning to end there. There was hundreds of hours of content. And grinding aside, there was a complete experience there, and for the most part, a well-oiled one. Yeah. That's how you launch a game as a service. You give them a game.
No, and then it's particularly in War Machine's case, it's every couple of years they basically revitalize the entire franchise by releasing a huge update that changes all of the backstory to it, that changes all the missions going forward. So you start a new character, you get a whole new experience.
World of Warcraft is an interesting.
So I was talking about Warframe, not World of Warcraft. I confused the two in my mind, but they both did the same kind of thing.
Warframe is great and actually did launch very well.
But you've been watching stuff. People play classic WoW recently,
yeah,
and it's one of those things where you think about it and you're like, oh yeah, I remember having a lot of affection for doing that. Do I really want to spend that much of my free time?
No. Oh, certainly no. Certainly not.
Yeah. Like, I still have affection for Final Fantasy XI. Do I want to go back and play it? No, I remember how fucking brutal and horrible that was.
I don't have a week to get to level 10, so
only to die and then lose my level. Yep. Like, I'm sorry, it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, it doesn't. I get you want it for the posterity's sake, like you want to have that memory, but you really don't want to do it. Go back and watch the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That's WoW classic. You want it, but you don't want it. Like, just don't do it.
I love that movie.
When was the last time you watched it?
Like last year, I think. Now 2, that one did not age well.
3,
3 didn't start well.
3 wasn't well to begin with.
Okay, that is everything that we have for the weekly raid this week. We're going to take a small break. When we come back, we'll be coming into our final segment, The Boss Room.
You know, I seriously thought you said Warframe and not World of Warcraft.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, but everything you were saying totally makes sense for Warframe.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this is
all right,
everything
chat,
Warframe
this is your
did.
opportunity. If you have E3 predictions, get them in now.
Yeah.
Lock them down.
I wish I had the ability to go press a button like that and go Battletoads, because we're going to see some Battletoads.
We are absolutely going to see.
We better
Battletoads.
see some Battletoads. I'll be mad if we don't.
Yeah.
Well, we're guaranteed.
Oh, definitely a Smash character announcement.
You think so? Interesting. That's
See, all right. I'm getting to get a beer, but my argument
You
against
get me one of the rosé.
Yeah, against the Smash DLC platform is that they release a finished game,
They
and
did.
then they charge you more money for characters that were added already to the finished game. These characters were done, and they were balanced, and they were finished, but they said, 20 more bucks, but you get the rest
Yeah,
of it.
that's been a thing in the fighting game community for a while.
Oh, yeah.
Street Fighter's a big one that
What'd you drop?
you dropped one.
I didn't drop it. I opened the door.
No one cares. Just what fell.
It's just a can.
Blood orange. You didn't want that, did you?
No, I wanted the rosé.
Okay.
Yeah, but Street Fighter's been this one that people have had problems with it for a while. They're
Oh, yeah.
like, there's this huge roster of characters that you kind of bleed out over the course of a season pass.
Yeah, back when we still used discs for games,
Yeah.
people would say, like, you're charging us DLC for stuff that came on the disc.
Yeah.
Like, it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think Mortal Kombat just had a bunch of announcements this week of new DLC characters, and I don't think any of them sounded like characters that they had at the ready.
Yeah, I have a real problem with DLC that obviously exists before the game launched.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is that you hear about this specifically when it comes to like fighting games where they say something like there will be 20 characters at launch and 5 additional characters, that you'll get over the course of the season pass. It's like, okay, you already knew what
You literally already did that character balancing for all of
Yeah.
that. You literally created that content already. It's on the disc.
Yeah.
But I have to pay you more money to unlock it. And that's where I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
I'm going to pee real fast.
No problem. But yes, for fighting games has been an issue, and Brooklyn Brooklyn probably knows a little bit more about this than I do. Some games, it definitely feels like they already know these characters when they release them. Some that they don't.
Yeah.
When they did the announcement for Mortal Kombat recently, today actually, I think they announced like Spawn, and I was like, I don't think you guys had that one ready. Like, I feel like that was.
Yeah.
I feel like that you had to work for that one.
Yeah, when they decided to throw in like random Star Wars characters into the
that was Soul Calibur.
into the Soul Calibur games.
Well, that actually came with the disc, though.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. The Soul Calibur games all came with a special character depending on which platform you got it on. It was Yoda for Xbox, I think Darth Vader for PS3. I wanna say.
Yeah, and I think they got Link on the.
You're thinking of Soul Calibur 2.
Oh yeah, that was the GameCube one.
Yeah, that was the GameCube one. Because it was like Link, Heihachi, which nobody cared about.
Yeah, and then wasn't that one Spawn?
Spawn, actually.
Yeah,
was
that
in
one was Spawn. That's why I said Link.
Yeah.
Because Spawn just seemed like such a weird choice.
It doesn't matter. Everybody only bought the.
Weirdly, y'all brought up
only
exactly
everyone.
the game that I wanted to bring up. Because that is the one case where they added the additional characters to it. After it had to be after the fact.
Those characters.
Because Link was the most broken character.
Those characters all came on the disc.
Yeah, no, but I mean, like, these were obviously the game was done, and they're like, "Hey guys, we have to add this shit," and they're like, "Oh fuck."
Oh yeah,
me.
Soul Calibur 4 had the Apprentice from Force Unleashed.
Oh, Star Killer.
Yeah, Star Killer.
Like the most overly dramatic name for a
Well, that was
character
Luke's,
ever.
it was Luke Skywalker's original name.
Star Killer?
Yeah, his name was actually Luke Starkiller in the original 1.0 version of Star Wars,
Oh, right.
and then it was changed to Skywalker.
Star Killer is a really terrible name. No one
Nope,
should be
yes,
named that.
it sounds like you're-
like something Rob Liefeld would name his character.
It's just like the most edgelord of Sith
Exactly.
lords.
And then Star Killer sounds like he has a lot of pouches.
So just try getting Jenny to not be over here coughing and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, let's go over here. She runs and then just jumps directly on Aaron.
That's right.
Like, with Aaron's laying on her side, on Aaron.
Flop. I like it.
All right, get your E3 predictions in now. Here we go.
I got nothing. I was not prepared for E3 predictions. I was not.
You gotta have some Halo or
alright.
Destiny stuff.
Cool. We're definitely gonna see. It is literally already scheduled to see Halo Infinite and the Destiny fucking update.
Well, here's the question, and we'll do it in the
and it's
show.
specifically Destiny 2. They've already announced that it's the.
Oh, yeah,
it's
of
the-
course.
It's the future of Destiny 2, not
Yeah,
Destiny 3.
no, they're not ready for that shit.
Let me click mute. Save. E3 prediction boss room.
All right, adventurers, welcome back to the show. All right, so we're doing something fun this week, something laid back. Now, you may be asking yourselves, like E3 predictions, isn't that kind of
That sounds super stressful to me.
Isn't that a little bit lazy? Like it's
Yes,
it's
honestly,
too easy.
very
Yeah.
yes.
And here's the reason for it, just as a heads up. Next week during E3, we are actually going to be doing 2 episodes of the show. So on Monday, we will
That's right, we're giving you the deuce.
we are giving you the deuce.
Making
and
a twosie for you.
on Monday, we are going to be doing a everything not E3 episode.
Might
This
be
is gonna
very short.
Might be very short.
Yeah,
but this
we'll,
is gonna
we'll,
be,
just, we'll see how the news plays out.
yeah, it's going to be.
It'll probably be us talking about how good Nosferatu was.
right. It'll be
Yeah.
TV, movies, all that
At which
good
point
stuff.
we'll binged all of it.
Then on Wednesday, we will also be doing we'll be doing our second episode then, and that's going to be a single episode devoted purely to everything E3.
So that's
E3
it's
recap.
It's 7:30 Central Monday.
Yep.
We'll be doing it live on Twitch and Facebook and all the other shit. And then Wednesday, also about 7:30, live on Twitch and Facebook and all the other shit.
Yep.
So double XP fucking week for you on the
is.
Surly Nerd
Yeah.
programs.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, let's jump into E3 predictions. I want to break this down into 2 different categories. Let's start off with what we think are very logical predictions based on just maybe rumors and speculation, maybe some things that we want to see, but things that make a little bit of sense. And then at the very end, we'll have some fun with this and maybe get some really just the most absurd predictions that we can come up with. So, starting with the normal stuff, what do you think, Tony?
I mean, honestly, I know for a fact because it's in the E3 schedule that I get to have Halo Infinite and Destiny 2 announcements. Minus,
Okay,
with the exception that Destiny 2 actually is already doing their announcements on this coming Thursday, at which point we'll just get more of that at E3.
But what you're saying is, okay, well, my prediction is there are going to be Destiny and Halo Infinite announcements.
Because they're on the schedule.
Right,
Yeah.
they're on the schedule, but that's not a prediction. Fucking, what do you think they're going to show?
Yeah.
Do you think Halo Infinite is going to be a playable demo? Do you think it's going to be...
I
hard
would be
no.
very,
Hard
very
no on playable
surprised
demo.
if we got any gameplay from Halo Infinite. And if we do, I'd be very surprised if it was
I
real.
expect that the Halo Infinite will be listed as a launch title for the new Anaconda system and whatever the Scarlet. I can't remember. They're both
matter.
called Scarlet. Either way,
We'll find out what they're called.
The 2 new Xboxes,
Right.
which I'm expecting. Honestly, there you go. There's my fucking prediction. We get to see the new Xboxes.
Okay.
Like, see him.
See them. Yeah, they'll be like, by the way, we're launching this shit.
Xbox does like to do that. It's like on the stage on a little spinny thing. It's
Yeah, and they're like,
"Here's the
and this
box."
is the way it's gonna look.
Yeah.
They did that with the last 2 generations now.
Yeah, they did.
And they've done it a year before its
They
release.
did one on an E3 stage that was just the Halo 3 version of the 360. It was like, yeah, look at this shit.
I had the Halo edition of the
I did
360
too.
because I still have that controller. It's somewhere on here. It's the brownish gray one. And I fucking love it. I will never
So what do you
use that
think
360
Microsoft's
controller.
going to do console-wise then? Do you think we're going to be getting the dual consoles like we've been hearing?
We are getting we're getting basically the regular edition, which is actually going to be closer to just a digital edition. It's going to be mostly cloud based.
Discless?
Yeah, maybe discless. I don't expect discless for this though.
Okay.
But mostly cloud based for its processing power, and then you're going to get a X version or a Pro version or whatever. That is the price is going to
You
be
think they're gonna do
probably
Pro version out the gate?
Yeah, Pro version out the fucking
Wow.
gate. Pro version is
I think I don't know. I think there's a normal version and the weird internet version that doesn't have real power.
I'm expecting the weird internet version we do the base version. The one that they're going to get charged $200. It's going to be easy, like $200 day one.
But you said it's relying on the cloud for its processing power.
For a good amount of its graphics and processing power,
That
it's
is
gonna
a
be handled
very
behind the
different
scene,
machine than just a PC with a pretty shell on it.
which is what the Pro version is.
Right.
Yeah, the Pro version I'm expecting
But
to...
the Pro version is a normal console, and the other one sounds like a Google Stadia.
No, not more advanced than Google Stadia. I'm expecting it to run natively without access to the internet. Games at 1080p at 60 frames per second
Okay.
or 4K at 30. And this is Xbox version of 4K, which is basically the same thing as Sony's version of 4K. It's actually 2K.
Yeah.
And not the sports franchise thing. That's what I'm expecting for the base version coming from Microsoft, and the Pro version.
The version people will
The
want.
one that's gonna be $500.
Yeah.
And I'm
Is
expecting
that-
that,
is
issue to
that
be
your price point?
$500. It's $500.
Okay.
I'm expecting 200 and 500.
So you're locked in.
That's
Or
my-
have they already said that?
No, but
Okay.
we're because of
Last year?
No,
or
because-
last time?
Because of last time and AMD giving out too much fucking information about what the future for console gaming is. No, seriously, like I love AMD. They're great. They've made huge strides in processing power over the past like 3 years. We're an AMD household at this point.
I've always been an AMD household.
Just fuck Intel now that because they're kicking Intel's ass, but that's the different podcast.
At what?
No, dude, the new system, the 3000 series they just announced will come in running as fast as Intel's chips.
Oh, so
and
you're
half the
talking
fucking
power,
price.
not business. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
the power of the processing,
Yeah.
and they're the ones that have all the console shit. They're the ones making Sony
All right,
and
so,
Microsoft
so all the way
consoles.
back to what you were saying.
AMD has been giving out information when they shouldn't have because they're like, by the way, we're making the graphics and the processors for Sony and Microsoft,
Yep.
and here's all the information about that. And you can see Sony and Microsoft going like, could you fucking not? Like, just could you fucking not? Sony's been way more liberal
So we're
about
gonna
giving out
see-
information.
Tony's predictions: we're going to see these new Xbox consoles
And new PlayStation.
We'll see a new PlayStation.
We will not see a new PlayStation at E3. I guarantee you.
Well, that's 'cause they're not
Well,
gonna be
they're
E3.
not gonna be
Right,
there.
exactly.
But they might be doing a State of the Union or whatever they're State of
Soon.
Play.
Yeah, they'll
Soon.
probably be doing some kind of state of play.
I
around the
am
meantime.
expecting that when Sony does announce theirs, that they are only doing one version. They will not have released the Pro version
That's
yet.
true.
Because Microsoft's will be so much more powerful that it will still be listed as the most powerful system, and they have to go back and make a even more powerful one or try to.
Wait,
compete
no,
with
you
it.
you think that so AMD says they're releasing all the same shit for both consoles, and you think the Xbox is going to come out more powerful than the PlayStation?
Yes.
Okay, I disagree, but
Well,
that's fine.
when that's literally what the X is versus the PS4 Pro. They're both made by they have AMD chips throughout the whole fucking thing. The PS4 Pro is way less powerful than Xbox One X.
But that literally tells you zero about the next generation.
But the
literally
information
zero.
The information we've gotten has been specifically Sony based or Microsoft based on the conversations with AMD.
Mm-hmm.
So they're telling us stats that are Sony stats, and they're telling us Microsoft stats.
Okay, let's
Where-
not- let's-
yeah,
let's
I
not-
don't.
let's not-
yeah, I'm gonna need a citation on this bullshit.
We're not going to get bogged down. in
Okay, no,
technical stuff here.
I go way into my
yeah, but
my
if any of this was
Computex
actual news, we'd have been reading articles
it's already
about
in fucking, it happened at Computex on stage.
Why hasn't video game journalism been blowing up with here's the specs for the new consoles?
They don't have the exact specs.
They
but
don't have anything.
No,
because they
we
report
do
on rumors
still
all the time.
This isn't rumors. This is literally coming from AMD. The AMD has done this.
Let's get a-
Sony released this shit
There's
fucking
no
weeks
way
ago
that you
with
guys
their
all
fucking-
found this.
Let's
and
get
no
away
video
from
game journalist
hardware.
did.
You guys are like impressing like two people right now.
I'm not trying to
alright?
impress anyone.
Let's
I'm trying to
either
call
way,
bullshit.
Let's go back to software.
Either way, I'm still believing that there will be Microsoft will constantly be going for the we have a more powerful console,
Right.
And they are going to be showing that, which is why they're definitely showing two of them. One probably more cloud based, and then technically I guess kind of a third if they're going with just for like everybody on tablets and stuff. Like there's
You think they're releasing an Xbox tablet?
well the X Cloud.
The XCloud.
Yeah.
You think this is the year they're going to actually?
I think they're going to start
launch-
showing us xCloud, and
Okay.
it'll launch in the next
Well, with Google-
E3
with Google Stadia.
2020 will be the actual full full launch of it. They might have to update their time frame because Stadia is coming
Are you
out too
talking
soon.
about software or are you talking about a physical device?
No, in the xCloud platform that I mean is just
Yeah, it's
Okay.
their Play Anywhere Google.
It's-
So they're
Stadia.
not releasing a Xbox tablet.
no, it would be a third version, which
Right.
is you install the Xbox app and you can play an Xbox game anywhere.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
that's
about. So I'm expecting to see way more stuff about Xbox Cloud. Honestly, more than that's going to be kind of the major talk. We know that there are 14 games coming out by Microsoft Studios as first-party titles that they are announcing / showing, playing, whatever. the
Hopefully
fuck.
they'll show some of them.
We know one of them's going to be Battletoads because that is a property that Microsoft bought.
Yeah.
Whenever they bought, was it Rare?
Like
Do you
badasses.
believe the rumors about Fable?
So that there's Fable 4 being headed up by not Lionhead because Lionhead's gone the way of the Buffalo. Weirdly, because Buffalo's still around, so not
yeah.
really, but I guess. It's always one of those turns of phrases that bothers me. I want there to be a Fable 4. I just don't think it actually exists yet. Like, I know there is a version of it that they're
Right.
working on.
Yeah.
I just don't believe that.
You believe it's like Half-Life 3 level of?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's like people are definitely making this and been making it for quite a while. It's just I think maybe it's too good to be true.
I feel like they've been trying to give us a Fable game for on 6 years now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and we have nothing.
They had that Fable.
The asymmetrical multiplayer one. Yeah,
and whenever they showed that, I was like, cool.
That
Fable.
looked cool as fuck.
It looked cool, and then when they told me what the game was, like, I don't want to play that. I want to play Fable, not a weird 4 versus 1 simulator game that happens to look cartoony in the Fable world.
Yeah,
like it wasn't enjoyable.
Hector, do you have any things off the top of your head that your predictions going into this from any of the major ones from Nintendo? Sony,
let's
anything?
see, Nintendo.
Technically not going to be at E3, but it's doing a direct.
Right. I don't think
same
Nintendo
time.
really has to do anything but show software at this point.
Right.
They could bring out another Labo thingy, and there was a.
Do you think there won't be another 3DS announced?
I don't think so.
You don't think?
I don't think we need
it's time
one.
for another new 3DS?
I don't think we need one.
I don't think we're ever
I
gonna
think
get one.
everyone takes their Switch with them everywhere. My friend just went to Colombia for business. He's got his fucking Switch with him. I know he owns like other Nintendo handheld consoles. No one gives a fuck. Just take your Switch.
Yeah, I think at this point,
It's better in every way.
This is honestly, that's the reason why I brought that up, was because I personally believe that Nintendo won't officially announce the death of the...
Oh, no.
There's no reason to announce it. It would just make everyone mad.
Yeah.
Just stop making shit for
I just think that
it's not what happened when the Vita got announced as canceled.
Yeah.
Like 10 people on the internet got very angry.
Yeah.
Yes, you were 9 of them.
I was 9 of them.
So yeah, there has been rumors of a like a Switch 1.2 with like a better screen or better
Right, that's
Wi-Fi
what we have been
features.
hearing.
I would love to see something about that, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're ready to announce that, specifically because it might feel to the people who already bought a Switch that they're like fracturing the user base.
Except
Only
for the
if
3DS user base is all it's the 3DS.
Yeah, but a
is the
3DS costs like
but
$150 or something.
Yeah.
The thing is that
a Switch is like what, 200?
if they 300, if they enable any extra features with this upgraded hardware, that's where you fuck things up. They really need to just go for
they had this
not a lot.
issue.
They have the PS4 Pro
in
Mm-hmm.
the history of the 3DS, where they released a version of the original 1.0 3DS, and then
Mm-hmm.
at some point they released an upgraded 3DS, but they didn't tell anybody that it was an upgraded 3DS.
Yeah.
So like certain games like Monster Hunter were best played on this newer 3DS, but the
Was this the
consumer
3DS XL? It has a larger screen. Like they tout it as just it's just a larger
It's just
screen,
bigger.
but it's actually a much faster processor.
It actually has a faster processor, like additional memory, all
Mm-hmm.
this stuff. And it's like if you're going to play Monster Hunter, you're only playing it on this new 3DS. You're not playing it
Yeah.
on the old one. So yeah, I can see that fracturing there, saying, "Hey, we're coming out with this new Switch that's more
Yeah.
powerful." And what does that do for the other?
Yeah,
people
what
who
does it
want
do
one?
for the game, and what does it do for the console?
But the problem here is that we're having this argument right now about this when this question has already been answered 5 years ago when they came out with the Xbox, and then they went, "Okay, well now we got the Xbox Pro or whatever."
Yeah, that's true.
And no, honestly, I think Nintendo going forward is going to handle this Switch the same way they do the 3DSs. They're going to get rid of the 3DSs without telling anybody. Just let it go quietly into the night, and they're going to focus
I
all.
just want
of
a picture of like a 3DS, like a Vito holding hands.
Oh, just like off into the
like,
sunset.
and they're all gray and kind of wrinkly and walking off with a little cane.
And they have like their bags packed.
yeah,
Like they're going on
they
a
got a
trip.
hobo satchel.
Yeah. But yeah, no, the Nintendo will be all software. That's exactly right.
And you said that
Chad.
girl from The Walking Dead. Just look at the flowers. Just look at the flowers.
The only thing I would really love to see from Nintendo that I almost definitely am not going to, no one will even whisper it, would be some fucking Metroid. And I know we're not going to
We're
get
not getting
any,
Metroid for a while.
But come on, man.
That's
They
like saying,
teased
like,
me
I want
with it.
Castlevania. Like,
No, they
neither
teased
one of
me
us are
with
getting
it
what we
3
want.
years ago.
Gotcha.
And all I still have is that stupid 4.
So I think that it's going to be a big year for Borderlands. I think that with
Yeah, I mean,
E3,
hands down. We know.
yeah,
we already know the
Borderlands-
release dates this like September.
Yeah, we will see a lot of
There's,
Borderlands.
there's going to be a big hype train for Borderlands. I think Doom Eternal is going to be really huge.
I hope so, yeah. And Wolfenstein.
I mean,
we know
obviously,
Bethesda there.
we have the Google Stadia, which they're basically touting their only piece of software being
Doom Eternal, yeah.
Yeah,
Which
and
is
that
the
was the
best-
problem when
it's the best thing
we
to test
talked
it with.
about Stadia was the what the fuck are you going to put out on this? Because if everybody else already has these games, you already own the systems. Why would they invest in this other version of it?
Yeah, and they were playing fucking like Assassin's Creed, and I mean, yeah, great
I
and all,
think Bethesda has
Yeah.
to go
Doom.
big.
No one cares about Assassin's Creed anymore.
I think Bethesda has to go big because they've they've hurt so many people over the last year.
Yeah.
It was the same thing that I watched when I was watching BlizzCon happen, and all the bad things that happened BlizzCon this last year with like the Diablo mobile game and all that. I actually said I'm glad that I didn't go to BlizzCon this year, but I'd love to go next year because next year they're going to be going up like 2 and 3 times harder to make up for what happened.
Honestly,
last year.
I want that guy to come back out
I
on
have to
stage
side
and
note
smash
this.
his phone.
I have to side note this. Never going to BlizzCon is probably the better option because specifically the way they handle their badges now requires you installing an app on your phone that literally takes all of your personal information and sells it to third party sellers.
So does my TV.
No, this is specifically your GPS information, your phone number, your emails, your text messages get sold to another company because you want to go to BlizzCon. It is a horrible practice. No one should go to BlizzCon ever. And if you go, print out your ticket and say, fuck you, you have to deal with it. I paid you. I refuse to install shit on a fucking phone.
Now that old man Tony's corner is over with.
Dude, I'm sorry. This is fucking massively invasive fucking software.
It's not what we're talking
People
about.
People need to know about this shit.
They know. You've done this rant before.
If not now, when?
The last time you said it.
That was not...
the last 15 times he said it.
It has to be reiterated because people are fucking idiots.
So yeah, we're gonna see a lot of Doom Eternal and Wolfenstein, and I can't wait because those are both right about to come out.
Yeah, so that's gonna be right around the corner. I don't think that we'll see anything really from Sony's side.
We'll see software. There will be. Well, maybe. We'll definitely see software. The whole thing is they're not doing a stage show. It's not like Sony doesn't exist. They wipe themselves out of E3. It's just there's no. They're not there. They're not showing up in force to do.
They're also doing all the legwork right now for their next set of consoles and everything. Exactly. And honestly, they've
got the huge thing coming up later in the year.
Yeah, it's almost the smarter move at this point to not go ahead of Microsoft because that's what bit them in the ass last time. They went too far ahead of Microsoft where they did all their announcements, and Microsoft came out and said, better hardware?
Yeah.
Now, Sony still was able to come out and say better software.
Yeah.
But still.
It's like hardware for what?
But when we go into this, when we talk about these predictions for E3, I mean, software for the Xbox is going to be a big deal. I think that's going to be a big thing for E3.
And they know it, and
I
they're
think
doing
that
a good job.
Their new platform, the xCloud, is going to be pushed to the forefront, obviously, because we're getting into that era where Microsoft is no longer going to be constricted to being on an Xbox.
Yeah, no, we're a year to a year and a half away from xCloud being launched. Based on the internal tests that they're doing and how they're already getting the community involved with doing tests for it. I mean, look how fast Google went from Stadia, which was the play Assassin's Creed for free on your Chrome browser, to releasing a product. I am really burpy now. I'm sorry. Releasing a product very soon that is that premise.
Yeah.
And so that was their test. And if we already know that Microsoft's already doing their internal tests for xCloud, they're starting to get some external people involved in this.
Yeah.
And so we know, like,
we might get
a year to year and a half from now, xCloud will be launched. And I'm expecting it to be the exact same time frame when they release 2 new consoles, being like, by the way, powered by the biggest fucking cloud in the goddamn universe.
We haven't really touched on it, but I think that Microsoft will at least briefly touch on their Xbox Game Pass.
Definitely.
It coming to PC.
I feel like
not briefly. That's going to be a huge part of it. Whenever they start talking about xCloud,
they're going to come out.
They're going to talk about how they're going to go in there like, by the way, I'm expecting this. This is the ending for Microsoft. Those are the 14 or for the section where they show off. These are the 14 games that we are making from these studios. By the way, every single one of these is playable in Xbox Game Pass. If you have Xbox Game Pass, it is available on your Xbox. It is available on this next generation console and on PC and anywhere you want to go. Your saves go everywhere. Your character goes everywhere. Your gaming goes with you, wherever the fuck you are.
Right.
I mean, imagine that. That's a fucking. that's a throwdown.
Yeah, that's the mic drop right there. So I think we've covered a lot of Microsoft stuff
because they're honestly Bethesda's got that one cool game that's based on the Skyrim engine that we're still mad about because it's still on the Skyrim engine. Yeah. Which the space game the Fallout in space / Skyrim in
World,
space,
something like that.
Yeah, but it's still based on an old fucking engine.
Do you think Square Enix is going to have any big announcements?
Square Enix.
They got the Marvel announcement.
So they're going to have the Avengers.
We're going to see Ultimate Alliance. For sure.
I was actually curious, and I didn't know whether to put this in a logical.
Ultimate Alliance 3 from Nintendo. If we're going to see more of that,
definitely.
Fuck
yeah. If I wanted to put this in logical predictions or kind of absurd ones, I almost feel like Square Enix could possibly drop like a release date for Episode 1 of Final Fantasy VII re-release.
That would be really smart.
I kind of feel that that'd be the right time for that.
I'd love for them to drop
Can we
just some
give a
new IP on
prediction?
us too.
All right, so
Yeah,
they're doing something with the Avengers game. Can we just what are y'all's thoughts of what that game is? Because I've got an idea and I'm pretty sure it's not it, but I wish it was.
Well, they've said that it will have both a single player and a multiplayer element that will be playable at E3, from what I read.
Can I?
But
I
that
say
could
something?
that could be anything from system link to just playing online.
Okay.
Can I say something a little? I don't know. This might be off base. I don't
Go
want
for
it.
it.
I don't want an Avengers game. I don't want one at all. I don't like the idea of designing a game around characters that people love from movies and comics, because the game is literally third wheel at that point. So how much fun can it possibly be?
I don't know. I love the darkness.
They could do good things. Yeah, The Darkness was made
that
by
DC
people
Online
who really
game.
loved a comic book.
Yeah.
You're talking about the equivalent of, well, this is me being cynical, like, a box of French fries with the Avengers on it, is what I see.
No, I totally get that. And the example I used, which was DC Online,
Yeah.
where you create your own hero and you exist within a DC world.
No more heroes,
And
but
you
with
know
Marvel
what?
heroes
You
slapped
know
on
what?
it.
Honestly,
I don't know.
that's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting a live services game akin to something like Destiny, something like Anthem, along those lines, where it's an ever-changing world with full of Marvel heroes,
Right.
where you make your own hero and you have to go out and do stupid hero missions.
That sounds horrific, and I don't think that's what it is.
I-
at all.
Yeah.
You know what?
I
But-
don't know
but
what
if
it could
I'm
be.
right-
It could be a Diablo
But
clone,
if I'm right,
But if you're right,
It could be
if
a
it's a
dungeon crawler.
Diablo
It
clone-
could be another beat 'em up.
I don't
a la
expect it to be.
Ultimate
I
Alliance.
don't expect it to be a Diablo clone, because that's what Ultimate Alliance was. Ultimate Alliance was just Diablo.
I felt like
It
it was
was-
more of a beat 'em up.
See, it had elements of both, but it definitely had the.
I don't remember there being a lot of loot in that game, like loot everywhere.
No, there wasn't loot, but you did have to power up your
all
character.
right, we're starting to
sure.
run a little
Okay.
bit long, so to kind of start closing this up, I did want to do a couple fun, absurd ones. Unless
Before we do the absurd one, because I wanted this counted separately from that, I think we're going to find out at the very least the year that Cyberpunk comes out, because we're going to see a lot of Cyberpunk at the show.
Yeah, no,
I'd be surprised if they didn't end it with Q4 2020 or something
Yeah,
like that, or Q1 2021.
CD Projekt Red actually recently said that we were actually planning on releasing it in 2019, but because of how much work is requiring this, we are pushing it back. Meaning
Right.
we're not giving you a date, but that was they thought they were going to put that out this year.
Yeah, so I'm calling
Like that was that note was like, holy shit.
like 2020 and then like summer or autumn or
Yeah, I'm
something.
really-
yeah, something like that.
I'm honestly,
A seasonal thing.
I don't think it's a prediction, but I'm really hoping they will show a little bit more about Bloodlines 2 during the PC show.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah.
So let's just have some fun with it real quick. We name out a couple of really silly ones, absurd predictions. If you just
Contra.
just whatever. See,
still-
normally you'd say Battletoads, but Battletoads is actually going to
yeah,
happen.
no, Battletoads
Is
is
it
happening.
Contra's
It's a thing.
Konami?
Konami, yeah. So
Yeah.
anything Konami based.
Yeah,
Konami-
literally anything from Konami.
Yeah.
Konami comes out and says we're sorry and just starts.
There you go. That is actually the one thing is
Throwing out
hidden,
games.
there's a hidden section of E3 where Konami is going to go on stage and be like, by the way, we're making all these games, but no one showed up.
It's like here's your Contra and here's your Castlevania and here's
Yeah,
your,
no, like I've been
Bust-a-Move.
saying
Silent Hill.
I've been saying
Yeah.
for like what, like 5 or 6 years now. I want a new Contra game, and I want it to be a stupid, weird, bad Contra game like I grew up with.
So here's my absurd prediction is that at the end of the Microsoft conference, a representative from Sony comes out and they talk very briefly about the work that they're doing together on getting the streaming platforms working perfectly.
Yeah.
Like it's an absurd prediction for me because I'm like, that seems like a lot,
Okay, see-
but like,
Well, here's an absurd prediction. Google Stadia is there, and everyone plays it, and everyone loves it, and says it works perfectly.
that is a very absurd
Yeah.
prediction.
That is very absurd because that would be the most amazing thing if Google showed up and be like, by the
Yeah,
way,
if Google
you've been
Stadia-
streaming all of these games using us. We were like, what?
Yeah, if Google Stadia actually works, which seems like an absurd prediction, I mean, it'll rule the world.
Well, I know for a fact, for on one of the Microsoft sides, because I just watched the hour of play, that Halo Reach on PC is
Yeah.
going to be playable for the first mission, because it's basically a 10-minute mission, so they can just power people through it.
Yeah.
And watching the gameplay of it on, they said, like, a mid-spec PC, like, holy shit, I can't wait to play some fucking Reach on PC.
I cannot wait.
I can't wait to
for
play the Master Chief Collection.
Pump it into my veins.
Yeah,
Please
no.
give me a fucking just like a final release date.
Brooklyn's a couple predictions. These may be the absurd ones. A true Marvel versus Capcom 4. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
That's not
Marvel's
gonna
next
happen.
fighter will be revealed. I can see that being possible, but who knows?
Yeah.
Capcom
Maybe.
is just killing it right now. So
Yeah.
like,
Oh man, if we got another
Actually, I don't really
really
say that's
good.
too far fetched. That Capcom's be like, by the way, here's another fighting game.
So
I just
what
kind
have
of
we
expect
had?
that from them at this point.
Resident Evil 3 remake.
Oh,
Yeah, we are
Resident
gonna
Evil
see more
3
of that.
remake.
Mhm.
Would you
That's
file that under
that's
logical or absurd?
It's logical.
I'd follow that under logical.
Yeah, it's logical.
After 2 did so well, and I mean
At least an
7 did so well.
announcement, right?
Yeah, no, that's just logical.
Yeah.
So there's one thing that I really want to happen, but I know
This is the absurd.
This is it's super absurd, and I really want it because this would be at. I feel like it should be the Microsoft stage, but maybe the PC stage.
Mm-hmm.
I want Bungie to come out and be like, by the way, guys, here's our new trailer thing that we're going to show you for our new Destiny 2 expansion thing, and then it's like this September, everyone gets to play together.
Oh god,
That'd be neat.
And then saying like that is Destiny saying fuck you, we are dropping the walls. All 3 consoles are immediately going to be integrated, and
Do we
everybody
think that
plays together.
crossplay is going to be a big deal at this year's E3?
Yes, that is
Yes.
the one that you're going to hear
And
more.
it
we're gonna
probably-
get sick. We're gonna have like crossplay shots game.
Yeah.
is what we're gonna have to do.
Basically, I don't think it'll happen with Destiny
It's going
because
to be the
Destiny
paradigm
still
shift
has
of this
Yeah.
year.
Destiny has not a lot, but some console exclusive
See,
content
Up until
and I think that would
September.
make people.
September is
Oh.
where that contract ends because Sony bought themselves out from Activision, and they recently, whenever they did news, one of their updates.
No, I know they bought themselves from Activision. What I'm saying is, are there still like guns that you can only get on PlayStation for a year?
Until September.
Okay.
September is the end. They've all of the season pass content has not contained anything that was specific to a console exclusive.
All right.
The last one, which PC players accidentally got because the coding fucked up.
On
Yeah.
October 1st, all Destiny fanboys play some Green Day, and then they all work together.
See, I get that. That's when September ends.
Yeah.
But you want this to the beginning of September. No, but that's my dream is to have them say, "Fuck you, we are getting rid of." I want this from like multiple companies. I don't. This is my absurd.
You want cross-platform.
I want
Yeah,
cross-platform
cross-platform
play,
everywhere,
and I
yeah.
also want.
You want to hear it so much that you're tired of it.
Yeah, I want to get fucking sick of it.
I want them to make it a buzzword and say it over so many games that I'm just like, fuck, stop saying.
I also want them to get to the point where they're like saying non-exclusive content, meaning there is no maps only for this one version. I want that to be a thing of the fucking past. I want all of my third-party developers saying, "No, we're releasing this title, and fuck you if you want to get special content." Because, but then again, money wins. So it's never gonna. That dream's never gonna fucking happen for me.
Outside of a little bit outside of absurd predictions, I think because we have so many game developers on stages talking to each other and talking to us, I feel like we're going to have a lot of sass this year, considering how it's
some shit talk.
how it's been. No. It has been a year of scandals in the gaming industry. It's been a year of talking about crunch time and how it affects people and how everyone's fucked up. I think we're going to hear a lot of game developers on stage use the word union. I think we're going to have a lot of people talking about, how they don't crunch their devs to make this great game. I think we're going to see a lot of that on stages from people, very scripted. I got it because Brooklyn commented that there's a lot of legislation right now involving loot boxes, and we're definitely going to hear some shout outs to that.
What is it's the small indie developer that always has their own little fun.
Oh yeah. You're talking
Devolver
Devolver Digital. I'm expecting them to do because they always do a 30-minute thing to talk about unionization and then show them killing unions and then talk about crunch time and show them how they're killing their employees and just because they have the most satiristic version of E3 and it's beautiful and it shows you the true state of the industry within their own little 30-second or 30 minutes microcosm of games.
Well, I think it's safe to say with all of our predictions here, with as exasperated as we already sound about it, we're all really excited for this week.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it starts Sunday.
Sunday starts off on
Starts
Sunday.
on Sunday, which is great because I'm hoping that Friday and Saturday I will be playing my raid in Destiny 2,
Yep.
so I can Sunday E3 my shit.
So again, for all of our listeners out there, Monday is going to be just our everything that is not video game related shows. We'll be talking comics, movies, all that.
We'll
good
do our
stuff.
best to not talk about video. I mean, there's a good chance we're going to.
We-
A little bit. If we,
there could be some.
it happens.
We're gonna be like basically avoiding talking about all of that.
Right,
Yeah.
but on Wednesday we'll be doing a secondary show. That's going to be our E3 show where we jump into all of this. Feel free to call us out for what we got right, what we got wrong. But until then,
We got so much wrong.
Yeah.
We didn't list a single thing that's going to be showing up.
until then, Tony, where can they find us?
Facebook.com/thesilienerd. Like, share with your friends. Info@thesilienerd.com is our email address. Thesilienerd.com is our website. You can donate to the show on there, or you can hit donate on twitch.tv/thesilienerd, or patreon.com/thesilienerd, or anything else fucking called Surly Nerd. I don't care if it's us or somebody else. Fucking donate to
We're
them.
on a lot of
Yeah,
things.
it's just us at this point.
Yeah.
No, if you want to donate, do all those cool things. Goes back to making the show that we make and buying stupid things like weird things that we put on our desk.
Yeah. Sometimes you need the thing.
Sometimes you need a thing.
Yeah.
You'll see this if you watch us on twitch.tv live 7:30 Central ish every Monday, where you can see our desk covered in things.
Yeah, yeah. And there's you can watch us. You can watch us on Facebook. You can watch
Yeah,
us
we're
anywhere.
on Facebook now. Yeah, the
How
Facey
cool
Booksies.
is that?
It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
no, people. We have
Your
people
mom
talking
can
to
watch
us.
us?
Yeah, your mom. I still need to tag her.
Yeah, don't do
to
that.
watch
Whoa, he
us.
wants to tag your mom.
Don't do that.
Talk about absurd things.
Just-
All right, until next week.
No.
For Tony, this is
hard,
James.
hard pass. For James, this is a hard pass. For James, this is Tony.
And I'm Hector.
Adventures, good night.
And good game. Too far.
It was sitting right there.
It's right there. Tagging her was just right there.
Ah, my eyes are dry.
What is it meme I saw earlier today is when your friend's having an argument and he calls the other guy's mom's gay. And the guy, it was like this scholar talking to another guy. Like, he's really getting at the heart of the issue now.
I don't know, I've been like way into Letterkenny memes.
Oh, fuck yeah. Letterkenny memes are the best because it's just a quote from the show over a still of that quote being said. And it's still fucking hilarious.
I just like anytime I read like comments on Reddit or something, and I'll see somebody say like that's what I appreciate.
Yeah.
It takes all of my will not to immediately respond to like, is that what he appreciates?
Yeah. Oh, fuck. I was watching I was in a Reddit thread the other day that was about something horrible. And one of the comments was like an obvious Letterkenny quote. And then it was nothing but Letterkenny quotes in this tragedy of
Dude, all right, so the
Of a
Letterkenny
post.
subreddit finds those, screen caps them, and then
Yeah.
puts them on there so you can read the entire just destruction of like how this thing that is sad, but now we're just going to talk about Letterkenny.
Yeah. My favorite is the people who don't know. So, like, you get, like, 30 comments down, and there's one guy like, what is everyone doing?
I love it when somebody like it's like somebody doing a logical or just kind of a statement,
Yeah.
and then somebody insulting them underneath that, and then
Oh,
it
yeah.
turns into nothing but the Shoresies lines. It's just like watching everybody listen to Shoresies lines and watching the person be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" It's like, well, you made fun of my friend, like this person. I don't know, so I'm gonna make fun of you. It's so good. It's so good. Watch Letterkenny is what I'm saying.
Watch Letterkenny. It's all on Hulu.
Yeah,
It's worth
I
every minute
I
of
cannot
your time.
wait for the next season.
Watch it twice.
Yeah, I actually went back and watched the original YouTube stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Letterkenny Problems, which is like 4 5-minute, not even 5-minute episodes, like 2 minutes long.
Yeah, there was like an inspiration for the show. Back then, it was just
Yeah, no, because it started out as
that.
just a writing exercise and like production thing that they were doing for fun.
Yeah, and it was kind of a riff on like a "You Might Be a Redneck," but
Yeah.
they were so much better than
Yeah, then
like,
Crave
the
went to
premise
them.
they
They're
were
like,
working with.
we've seen these little clips that you did. Holy fuck, they're hilarious. Let's turn this into a thing. And you're
Yeah.
like, okay. And then you get to the point where you're like, holy fuck, these actors are like in all kinds of shit.
Oh yeah,
The guy that goes, start.
oh
I
yeah.
can't remember his name. He's in a fucking American Gods.
Yeah, he is.
In one episode this season.
Oh, I remember seeing him. I see him everywhere. I see Riley and Jonesy
Riley
everywhere.
and Jonesy are everywhere.
Riley specifically. Yeah, I see Riley everywhere. He's
Alright.
in a lot of Netflix stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna sign us out. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a couple puppers. Puppers. I'm gonna go have me a puppers,
Yeah.
and we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, let's get this guy a fucking puppers.